To start off, I want everyone to take a look at this quote on the board. Breathe it in, let it sink in a little bit. Think about what it means, why FDR might have said this at the time. Just think it over. So, first off, today we're going to learn about the immediate actions that Franklin Delano Roosevelt took immediately following the Great Depression, kind of during his first 100 days in office, and why he took those actions. So, we all kind of looked at this quote. What does this quote remind you of? John?
Well, it reminds, it's saying that if we're trying to create progress, if we don't all group together, then we are all going to go down as one.
Sure. Does it remind you guys of anything?
Well, it's just, I think it's totally as relevant today as any time. I think it's kind of a timeless statement.
Right.
But I don't know what it reminds me of.
Right.
It reminds me of the quote from Ronald Reagan, though FDR would be turning in his grave if I said that. The Reagan quote where he said, "A rising tide raises all boats."
Raises all boats. So it's the
Like the
same
same, rising
principle
tide
right
raises all
there.
boats or sinks all
Right.
boats. Yeah, we all
They
all
may have had different policies, but
Yeah.
they all wanted the same thing, right?
Yeah, we're all in it together.
That's right. All right, so first off, we want to think about some of the causes for the Great Depression. And this is review for you guys that we've gone over the last couple classes. So anyone want to name off the causes of the Great Depression for me?
Well, a lot of it was dealing with the stock market and the banks, and that our capital funds were not.
They actually named two there, the stock market. And what was the second one?
It was, or we didn't have the cash flow. Everything was based on credit.
Or credit.
Yeah, it was all based on credit.
Right. So the banking system.
Yeah.
Was the Dust Bowl part of that too?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Natural resources.
That's when everybody started moving to the city.
Part of it too,
Yeah.
wasn't it, one of the first times really the economy was becoming global, and Europe was having big problems after World War I.
Right.
And,
Absolutely kind of fun.
and their economy was going quite a
Right. Absolutely. So we were trading with them, and after World War I, they just didn't have the resources to really do anything else. All right. So these are all great points that you guys made right here for the causes. The stock market, obviously, we went over the crash of '29 and how, massive amounts of wealth were just lost that day. So you go from the global or the big time bankers, the big, the big entrepreneurs on the scene at that time, and that trickled down all the way down to the farmers were kind of on another path, but all the small markets in the big cities on the East Coast. And the banking system. So what happened once the stock market crashed?
Well, it was 2 years later.
2 years later.
Well, from what I understand, the story goes that the guy, a gentleman walked into a bank, said, "I'd like to pull my money out." The guy, and he said, "Well, we can't do that." And they said, "Why is that?" "Well, because we don't have it." They tied everything up in
That's
credit.
right. So what happened? Panic.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone started taking their money out of the banks. With farming, we've gone over the Dust Bowl. Just massive droughts in the Midwest. Prices just went down the drain for everything, and which caused more migration west. And global trade, which is a good point as well. Now, one of the things that FDR immediately did once his first day of office was closing down the banks. And why would he do that?
To prevent a run on the banks.
To prevent
For the panic and whatnot, people trying to take the money out.
exactly, to kind of stop the cash running away from the banks. And in this time, he actually got legislation either introduced or passed. escapes me right now, but at least introduced into Congress to kind of basically put the FDIC together to insure the banks so people would have a little more confidence in the banks. The next thing he did, which kind of goes along with both of these, is he took the American dollar off the gold standard. Does anyone know what that means?
Every printed dollar issued had been backed by $1 worth of gold. At Fort
Exactly.
Knox or somewhere, and he took it off of that standard, so now the dollar floated, and gold was still tied at a specific price. The gold price wasn't allowed to float, but you could print more dollars than you had gold to back it up.
Exactly. So it didn't depend how much gold they found in the California gold rush or wherever they were getting gold at this point. They could the dollar was worth its own value. Exactly. And next, one of the kind of what turned out to be iffy things that FDR did was he formed kind of deals with the farming unions, I guess you could say. And what he did was he made deals with them that said, hey, if you reduce your supply right here, and this is for the Northwest farmers, they weren't really impacted by the Dust Bowl there. You reduce your supplies on these particular goods, the prices will raise up. And what happens when prices raise up? The farmers make more money.
Yeah.
So with that, to kind of get all of that moving. And of course, we all know about the New Deal that came afterwards, where he basically infused a whole bunch of money into the economy, put people back to work on the forests, on roads, stuff like that. All right. Now, after going through all of this, I want you guys to think up of 3 words that describe Roosevelt's actions in the first 100 days. So, for example, I have 3 right here that you can't steal from me because I thought of them first. Rural, control, and safety. And I chose rural because of his ideas with the farming. He knew that was an important part of the economy that needed to be fixed. I chose control because he was basically taking control of everything. Hoover before him had kind of let everything slide. And FDR was basically saying, you know what, we need to get our hands around the neck of this economy and take over, make sure that the panic stops. And safety. He wanted to make people feel safe. He wanted to give people confidence in their banks again. Okay? So take a couple minutes, write down your 3 words, and then we'll go over them, discuss them a little bit as a class.